Assalamu alaikum. So welcome to our first remedy of the week. And as I said in the message, we're going to be talking about Belladonna. So as you can see, I have adjusted my background with the picture of Belladonna. So Belladonna is a plant. English name is deadly nightshade and botanical name is Atropa belladonna. So it's this beautiful flowering plant that is common across Europe, I believe in North America as well. It grows mostly in woods under the shade of trees, and can be up to 5 feet tall. So it can be quite a big plant. It blooms usually from June until September, and it has these bell-shaped dark purple flowers with some greenish tinge to it. The flowers themselves can be up to 3 centimeters long, so that's about like this big, quite big flowers as well. And then after that, the flowers change into a black shiny berry, like, let me see if I can point to the picture. No, well, that one. So yeah, the berries are full of sweet, dark colored juice, like ink colored juice. The whole plant is poisonous, which is also where the name comes from, deadly nightshade. So it grows in the shade and it's deadly. The roots are the most poisonous, the stems and leaves like middle, and the berries are least poisonous except for children. It can really make children sick and it can potentially even kill them. So one of the main problematic compounds in belladonna is atropine. And many of you may have heard about atropine. It's used in medicine as well. So in the past, it used to be derived from the plant, but because the amount of atropine in the plant is not stable, it's not constant, every plant can have slightly different amount of atropine, they started making it synthetically. So the atropine that is used these days in medicine is synthetically made in a pharmaceutical lab. Symptoms of belladonna poisoning include signs like dilated pupils. And you may know that atropine is used in eye exams for the same purpose, to dilute the pupils before the exam. And that's also where the name belladonna comes from, because in the past, women used it to make their pupils bigger so that they look prettier. So that's why the name belladonna. Belladonna means a beautiful woman, basically. Another symptom is dry mouth. So again, in medicine, atropine is used, for example, before surgeries to reduce salivation and mucus during anesthesia. Also, another sign of belladonna poisoning is rapid heartbeat, and that's another use of atropine in medication. For example, in resuscitation, it's used to increase the heart rate. Then it has hallucinations, restlessness, delirium, red, hot, and dry skin, urinary retention as well, seizures, coma, and even death. There is a good, like a mnemonic for the belladonna poisoning symptoms, which can be useful even in terms of our homeopathic use, because it basically summarizes the symptoms the belladonna can help with as well. And it goes like red as beet, dry as bone, blind as bat, hot as hair, mad as hatter, and full as a flask. So in homeopathy, belladonna is used for, or the symptoms in belladonna picture usually come very suddenly. They're very intense, very violent onset, like a storm. It's like violent, intense situation. The red as beet means that there are flushed cheeks, or the skin is flushed red due to the vasodilation. So, you know, we said that it dilates the pupils, it dilates the blood vessels as well. That means it brings more blood into the area. So there is that redness because of that. So that's that. Red as beet. Dry as bone. The person is not sweating, they have dry mouth, dry mucous membranes, they are not thirsty. So yeah, very dry. Blind as bat. So when you have the dilated pupils, if you ever had the eye exam when they used the atropine drops, you know that after that you have really blurred vision and you can't really see. So it can paralyze because it paralyzes the eye muscles. That's how it causes the dilation. But we know hot as hair. I don't know why hair actually. Why a hair hot? But anyways, so it's hypothermia or high temperature, overheating. Due to the decreased sweating, and that can be you can have fever, it can be due to heat stroke, or just being in a hot environment. So the heat is one of the main symptoms for belladonna. Mad as a hatter, so we already talked about the delirium, the hallucinations, confusion, agitation. If you imagine a little child with very high fever, that can be that state. And full as flask. So I mentioned that it causes urinary retention because as it affects the eye muscles, it also affects the bladder muscles, and you are not peeing basically. Other symptoms that are typical of belladonna in homeopathy are throbbing pain. So if you have headaches, it's very throbbing pain, or any like swelling, insect bite, or anything like that, there will be a throbbing pain. If, for example, child has a fever, they would typically have cold hands and feet, but hot head and face. As I said, they would be thirstless. However, they might crave sour things like lemon or lemonade. There will be rapid pulse. So remember, we said that atropine is used to increase the heart rate. And as we know in homeopathy, we treat or we find remedies on the principle of similar treats similar. So because atropine belladonna in its natural state increases the heart rate, then we can use belladonna remedy for increased heart rate, for example, in shock or something to reduce it. We already talked about the heat, the hot flushes, the sunstroke, convulsions. We talked about fever, so there can be convulsions, febrile convulsions, twitches, or jerking. So belladonna can help with these or prevent them as well. So if you have a child where you suspect that they might have febrile convulsion or they had it in the past, belladonna can really help them in the next one to prevent the convulsion. For the child, in terms of their behavior, typically it's something like that. If they are well, they are like an angel, but when they are unwell and when they are in that belladonna picture, they are like a devil. They have the fever-related delirium, anger, biting, rage, that kind of stuff. The child or the person who is in belladonna state usually would be worse for touch, but better for pressure. For example, binding the head. So if you have belladonna type of headache, you would want to put like a tight band around your head. You would feel worse for noise, for light, for motion, for sun, for heat. That would all make your symptoms worse. But you would feel better for cold, for sort of crying, moaning type of thing. It's not crying, it's more like moaning type of crying. You may feel better for eating and lying in the dark. Belladonna is also good for right-sided complaints. Not necessarily, but it has more affinity to the right side. So, for example, if child is teething and they have high fever, red cheek, they are like almost angry, and it feels very hot to touch, and it's on the right side, more likely it will be belladonna than, for example, chamomilla, that is one of the typical teething remedies, right? I carry belladonna with me all the time. It's in my little first aid kit pouch that I carry everywhere. And for me personally, I'm getting it out right now because weekend is supposed to be very hot, and I don't do well with heat. I tend to get headaches and that kind of stuff. So, and my headaches tend to be this type of thing, like throbbing headaches. I want to put like a tight band around my head and something icy. I feel hot. It's good for hot flushes sometimes as well. And I want to just lie down in the bed in the dark, putting something on my eyes. Don't disturb me, no noise, no nothing. And belladonna usually really helps me with that. So that's that. I hope this short video helped you understand belladonna a little bit more. If you have any questions about belladonna and when to use it, just drop them in the group. And I will be looking forward to next week with the next remedy. Assalamu alaikum.